are working on the 99 R1 again. So we're gonna set the we're gonna sync the carbs on this due to that the engine was rebuilt about 600 miles ago. So it's due to have that service. Just like you guys can get yourself a piece of wood or some type of wire just bent up. So next one, put it right there. Of course, you got your couple overflow and vent hoses under here. Boy, man, this thing just takes you back, don't it? Takes you right back to the 90s. To make your lives easier, get you a longer fuel line. So what that means is we're going to set the tank off to the side and run a several foot fuel line to the fuel pump. That way you can get in here and make your adjustments. Okay, and turn it towards your motorcycle because we're going to be hooking a fuel line up. Alright, so before we get this bike hot, we're going to get here and we're going to break all these loose. Right? These are the ports we're going to hook up our adapters to allow us to put our vacuum lines on, but there's one for each cylinder. You know, cylinder 1, cylinder 2, and then cylinder 3, and then cylinder 4. So, but we need to get those all loose, and that way it's not so stinking hot. You're trying to break them loose. And there's copper washers. Okay, so pay attention. You don't want to drop them down in there because you can't fish them out with a magnet. Okay. All right, so that one came loose. So to make your lives easier, okay, we're going to have to undo this here. So I just put some 10s down here. Like I said, the other ones are some type of Phillips that are pretty hard to get out without stripping. Get that up out of the way. I'm doing that just so you guys can see. You gotta be careful twisting and turning them cables. This is the tough one. That's why you want to do this cold, because if this bike was smoking hot, you wouldn't be able to reach your hand up in here without burning yourself. You got battery cables in the way. Alright, so everything's seated. Ouch. Put the two short ones because I got two short ones, right? Will go on cylinders 1 and 4, and then the two long ones will go in the center here. And these really just have to be finger tight, okay? Because good luck getting a wrench in there. If you want to put some little bit of grease on the O-ring, have at it. Alright, so now I need to get a long hose from there to our fuel filter. Okay, so I want to pull the airbox off real quick and double check inside. Like I said, it's only been about 1,000 miles, but I like to pull this stuff off and see, you know, because bikes with high mileage, you'll start to get oil that puddles in these corners from the blow-by that comes up to your breather hose. And 1,000 miles, boys, that's what she looks like in here. Pretty clean. Just some oil from the Canon air filter. Alright, so let's get our hoses on. Now there's instructions you guys have to follow if you're using Motion Pro, but I got these marked already. But there's an orifice or a reducer inside the hoses. You see that little bulge? Okay, that goes towards the carburetor. And of course, I got my hoses labeled 1 through 4 because when you hook them up to your synchronizing tool, you want them to match. We got all our tubes installed, our adapters for the hoses. So we're going to cap off cylinders 1, 2, and 3.
And you want to cap off cylinder number 4 until we get the bike warm. I just noticed I was editing the video and I did not mention that. So go ahead and cap that off until the bike's warm.
These don't matter where they go, because it's all going on the tool here to get calibrated. But you do want the reducer towards the carburetor. Start the bike and let it get up to operating temperature, and then we can calibrate our tool. This cylinder number 4, that's what we set everything to. And that's why I just showed you how we set up the manifold for that. And you'll need a way to hang it somewhere. Okay, these always need to be standing up, even when you store them. Okay, you don't want to lay them down. Okay, the fluid will run out, you get air bubbles, and it'll never be the same. You'll have to change the fluid on it. And another thing, so you're probably gonna get some codes up here, because you got your gas tank unplugged and then your servo motor. You see how that's jumping around? Don't worry about that. That's just gonna happen. Once you get everything hooked back up after you're done, it should go away on its own. This motor, you just kind of want to straighten this out so it can do its thing, because it'll do a check before it, after you start it, it'll go through a cycle, I do believe. So it'll turn. You just want to make sure that's able to turn. And got our fuel line hooked up. If you want, gotta choke it. Let's see what happens. Let's hook our manifold on, our calibration manifold. You got the one gun in cylinder number 4, and then these are going to come up to your calibration tool, or your synchronizing tool, which we're going to calibrate. So go ahead and pop this green nipple off. Like I said, this is going to be hot, guys. Okay, there's your little green nipple. We're going to put that in on everything is capped off. Okay, I forgot to cap off this here. You want to make sure that's capped off while we're doing this. And your other 3 caps are on the other 3 cylinders yet. What we got to do, it's already done, you want to back these screws off. Okay, and back 1 through 4 off. And don't back them out until they come out. Just back them out until you feel some resistance, stop. Cylinder number 4, all the way on the right side here. So all we're doing right now is calibrating the tool. We're not synchronizing the carburetors or nothing like that. Alright. Fans are still on, this thing's still cooking. So when I start this, now you're not going to rev the bike, you're just going to blip the throttle every now and again during this whole process, but you don't want to redline it, okay? Because your cylinders will pull enough vacuum where it'll pull the blue dye solution through your hoses into your engine. And then it just messes up your tool here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start turning these clockwise to match it. So this bank here is the highest, so we're going to match that one. even now. This is what you want. The tool is considered calibrated. The tool is considered calibrated. We're ready to hook the hoses up to each individual cylinder. Okay, get that out of here. And we'll start plucking our hoses off and start putting them where they go. Pull our little rubber things off here. Get this damn thing fixed and out of here. Sync the carbs. So I just want to double check everything one more time. So when I start this, okay, remember this is cylinder number 4 on the right side, and that's what we're going to set everything to. So there's 3 adjustment screws, all right? So remember, this is cylinder number 4, or carburetor number 4, right? So we set the other 3 to cylinder number 4. So that means there's only 3 adjustment screws. Okay, there's one in between these 2. There's one in the center, and there's one all the way on the left. So let me show you guys know what you're looking for. So let's get down under there. Alright, so let's see here. All the way in the back right there, that one. So you have to come down under behind here. Well, barely. I just can't get in there and show you guys. But I'm on that adjusting screw back in there. Okay, so I can get to it with that one. Okay, and there's your one in the center. Okay, that one right there. Okay, and I can get to that one right there. And truthfully, guys, it's not like you're going to be turning these things quite a bit. They're very slight adjustments. Okay, and then that end one, I think again I'll be able to underhand this thing, yeah, and get to it just like that. So just so you guys have an idea. So I can get right on that one too. So just so you guys have an idea what you're going to be looking at. The way you do this is we're going to turn this center one, which balances these 2 together. Okay, and then we're going to go on the very end. We're going to balance these 2 together. Okay, then we're going to come back to the center, and that should balance the pair together, if that makes any sense. But you'll see as you're adjusting one, it affects the other one. So there's a little bit of going back and forth to do that. But I'm gonna be down here doing the adjustments. You guys just watch right up here. All right, so I'm gonna let this thing warm up again. It's been sitting for a few 5-10 minutes or so, and in between each adjustment we're gonna blip the throttle. adjustments. Guys, that's pretty close. I think I'm gonna call it there. Phew, man, that thing is hot. Okay, so as you can see, it took me about 10 minutes of jumping back and forth, which is to be expected. So you set, you know, this screw first. Then you jump to the left side here and you set that one. Then you set the center. And then I had to jump back here to make a slight adjustment. I think all is good, man. Sounds good. I'll let this thing cool down overnight. I'll start up tomorrow morning. Make sure everything sounds good. It idles good and whatnot. After we get this synced and stuff, then we need to adjust the idle, which is real simple. You know, your idle adjustment. Your idle adjustment's right there, right here. Turn it in to increase and back it out to decrease. So my first day on the job. Can't hold on to this stuff.